So I was reading through the comments on my previous video about NoTrack, and there was a comment here from Nicholas. Have I thought about adding the domains from DuckDuckGo's Tracker Radar to my list, or importing it into a separate list automatically updated from their GitHub? Well, I had come across the DuckDuckGo Tracker Radar list before, but it's not exactly usable as a DNS blocklist. Here's an example of it here. They're all separate files. So yeah, that you can't just use that as a DNS list and hope it would work. In fact, there's a bit more to it, and I'll discuss it through this video. So DuckDuckGo have created a script that automatically analyzes websites and determines their likelihood of being a tracker or doing any kind of tracking of users. And yeah, using the internet these days feels like being haunted by ghosts of browsing past. The shoes or headphones you shopped for yesterday are following you around relentlessly today. These creepy ads are powered by hidden trackers lurking behind most websites, and unfortunately your shopping habits are just the tip of the iceberg of what they know and can exploit. Yeah, this is something I've been against for a very long time, and it's not just as simple as blocking cookies. No, there's a lot of data that can be obtained from a browser. Yes, fingerprinting, behavioral data that can show exactly what you're getting up to, and even with getting rid of cookies or blocking cookies outright, yeah, you can be followed. So a way to get around this is DNS blocking, prevent connections to websites outright, and they can't follow you. Although, how do you know what a domain is actually doing? This is something DuckDuckGo have tried looking at here. So yeah, looking at the purposes of domains and analysing like the browser APIs that are being used, any fingerprinting techniques, and yeah, they've categorised it together, and they've listed here the most common trackers found on the top 50,000 websites. So Google, who'd have thought that? Facebook, yeah, predictable. Adobe, Amazon, Oracle, yeah, all names I'm familiar with, and some of these companies have a lot of domains. I think Adobe have a couple of thousand domains at least. Oracle, yeah, they've got loads. Oh, IBM have got what is it? About 8,000 domains plus or something. I lose track. They create multiple new domains each week, and they do it to get around people who are creating block lists. And I think they do cite some information about EasyList here. Is it EasyList? Yeah. So in 2018, Brave performed a study of EasyList and found that more than 90% of EasyList appears to provide little benefit for common browsing cases due to its large size and accumulation of stale, relatively used or even expired rules. And therein lies the problem of just piling on more and more data. So something I'll try and do on my own data set is get rid of domains that are no longer being accessed, and I can get this information from OpenDNS. So as soon as it falls below a certain threshold, I just get rid of it. Anyway, moving along to DuckDuckGo's Tracker Radar. So it's not a block list, but a data set of most common third-party domains on the web with their information about behavior, classification, and ownership. It allows for easy custom solutions with significant metadata. It has for each domain, parent entity, prevalence, user fingerprinting, cookies, privacy policy, and performance. The data on individual domains can be found in the domains directory. I'll show you some examples of that. But we've also got information about their categorization, how they've classed the domains, so whether it is attributed to tracking, advertising, or whether it could be more legitimate content, like CDNs. Things like YouTube are also classed as a CDN because, yes, YouTube has tracking on it, but it also serves videos. Online payments, yeah, examples like PayPal. PayPal has tracking on it, but you also do online payments for it. So it's no good. You can't just simply outright block some of these domains. And this is where I came across an example here of a list or a script that generates a block list from the domains in DuckDuckGo. I just went through it and I've got an example of the list it would produce. So such domains as like Walmart, you can't just simply outright block Walmart and not notice anything. Well, I suppose you wouldn't notice anything if you're in anywhere else other than America, but that's just an example I could think of off the top of my head. But PayPal in here, no, that one's not. Actually, I can't think of much more off the top of my head, but anyway, it's more than just 1 or 2 sites. And anyway, they've come up with nearly 400 domains there, which sounds reasonable. Except the files that were used to produce this data contain, well, there's 8,499 domains in that list, so there's quite a bit missing there. And some of these files contain CNAMEs as well. CNAMEs, oh, that awful way of hiding which website you're going to. Domains such as aloka.com, owned by Oracle, they've got a lot of subdomains here, but the CNAMEs, so all these different websites that, let's say if you were to ping one of these, then you would end up resolving to aloka.com. Assuming I haven't blocked it already. Ooh, apparently not, unreachable. Oh, that would be too much to ask for, to find the first one working, wouldn't it? We're just going to have to take a guess at another one. I did test a few of these, and I know that some of these do resolve back to Aloka. Oh, missed a bit of information there. Yeah, there you go. Accessing trk.informationweek.com would send you to that subdomain on aloka.com, and it's no use just to simply block aloka.com because by that point your DNS server's already sent you across to there. So you need to actually block the subdomain. So these are some of the other files that I just picked at kind of random, but domains that I knew a bit about anyway. So the likes of Walmart, supermarket in America. So what DuckDuckGo have suggested is a rule of blocking walmart.com. They've got a folder there /etab and then blocking .gif files. Well, I hope they're not just blocking all .gif files, because that might be a noticeable impact. I think it was browsers like Vivaldi could understand these rules. I think it was Vivaldi. I'm sure I read it somewhere. But anyway, that's no good for DNS servers. But anyway, we know a subdomain here is called beacon. So beacon.walmart.com should be the domain actually being blocked. We're going a bit more upmarket here. Waitrose. Well, this one's just going to be difficult to do anything much about because the only subdomain I've got listed here is www. And we've got just various PNG images. DNS, you can't really do much about that. So I think the overall fingerprinting score here was 0. So I've had to say, well, completely uncertain about that. And Aloka we've already looked at. Python script, which I built to carry out this data analysis for me. So it took a bit of going through, working out what could be used and what couldn't be used. And well, the script alone is well, just over 400 lines. It's got quite a few comments in here as well, so you can see exactly what I'm looking at, what I'm trying to pick out. Based it on a level of certainty. Let's just go back up. So I've split them off into confirmed trackers, high likelihood of being trackers, medium likelihood, low likelihood, and unknown. And these files are provided on my GitLab page, and I'll leave a link to this in the video description. But essentially what we have, a couple of different versions of the list. So we've got a plain list file and we've got a host file, and it's all split out, as I said, confirmed, high, medium, low, unknown. And you add whatever you're brave enough to add. So I'll be putting this as an option in NoTrack at a later date, but it's here right now to manually add. Anyway, going back to the script, so in processing it, so the highest certainty ones are where DuckDuckGo have provided a known categorization, and it's of, say, a tracking related categorization and doesn't match anything else like the CDNs, payments, social networking, anything like that. We've got some malware sites. They've got 2 malware sites in their list. One of them's probably adult related advertising. I've got advertising sites, and then I base it on the fingerprinting. So yeah, that's their high certainty of a lot of browser APIs are in use by a particular domain that are related to tracking. So it really doesn't have much of a purpose than being a tracker. So that might be a good one to add. Then we go on to any known tracking or advertising subdomains, because blocking a subdomain is not going to be as much of an impact as blocking an entire domain. So I'll keep those on the high certainty, the confirmed tracking. And then we go down to like medium and low. And if you're brave enough to add those, well, let me know what the impact is. Is it noticeable? Do you find yourself not getting to domains that you actually want to get to? And for the unknown domains, well, that is that I just can't work it out from the data that I'm given. So there's going to be domains that are legitimate and tracking in there. It's just obviously more work is needed to understand this. There's something that's probably legitimate, core hotels, about schools. I don't know. Oh yeah, that one sounds really legitimate. Anyway, yeah, far too much work is needed. And we got, so 2,700 lines in that file. So I'll run the script and you can see the results here. So we have 1,719 that are confirmed, 312 high probability, 1,400 medium, 3,200 low, and 2,700 that are unknown. So that was a look at my efforts on dissecting the DuckDuckGo Tracker Radar data. So I hope you might get some use out of those block lists, and as I mentioned, I'll add those into NoTrack later on. So the NoTrack version 0.9.6 will have those available as a selectable option. But if you want to go ahead and add them manually to NoTrack, or if you're using PiHole, then yeah, add them to that. But thanks for watching. I'll see you all later.